Good morning everybody. Good morning to the Year 6 students that hopefully are out there somewhere in Torbay listening to our live feed, and also a huge thank you to the primary school staff and the primary school teachers who have hopefully logged them in. My name is Mr. Carpenter. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Paignton Academy, and I'm in charge of the transition. So I will be hosting to this morning's welcome. I'm just going to let one of my colleagues introduce herself as well before we introduce you to the house teams. So I'm going to pass over to Mrs. Wilkinson.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great day so far. I am Mrs. Wilkinson and I am assistant principal based at Borough Road, and I'll be telling you a bit more about what to expect in September after you've met your house teams.
Great. Okay, so this is what we're going to do this morning. Now, you will know, the year sixes, what house and what site you are going to be on in September. Now, you may have seen that your tutor group had a number of letters and numbers. So I'm just going to explain that. Obviously, when you come in September, you will be in year 7. So that's the first number on your tutor group allocation. Then the second letter will refer to what site you're on. W for the Waterley Road site, and Borough Road and B for the Borough Road site. After that, you will then know what house you're in, and that will either be B for Broadsands, E for Elbury, or G for Goodrington. And then in each of the houses, we have 1, 2, or 3 tutor groups, so it tells you which group you're in. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask each of the house teams to introduce themselves to you and just say a quick good morning and a quick hello, so you've got a real idea who's going to be responsible for supporting you, nurturing you, and welcoming you into the academy in September and working with you over those next 5 years. So we're going to start on the Waterley Road site, and we're going to go in alphabetical order from Broadsands to Elbury to Goodrington. So my very first task is to pass over to the Broadsands team at Waterley Road.
Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Milliner and I'm the head of house at Waterley Road for Broadsands, and this is...
I'm Mrs. Appleby and I am pastoral manager for Broadsands and Waterley.
So just one thing before I pass on to Waterley Road Elbury is our motto for Broadsands is attitude, resilience and kindness. So lots of things you've been working on and thinking about over these challenging times through the different lockdowns, but very much looking forward to seeing you in September, and have a lovely summer.
Good morning. My name is Mr. Lynch. I'm the head of house for Elbury at Waterley Road. I'm going to pass you on to my pastoral manager.
Hi everyone, I'm Mr. Young. I'm the pastoral manager for the Waterley Road Elbury House. I'm looking forward to working with you all from September onwards, and hopefully we'll have a good 5 years together.
I'm lucky enough to teach PE and geography, so I get the best of 2 amazing subjects. My job now is to pass you on to the Waterley Road Goodrington team.
Nice. Right.
Sure. Good morning guys, I'm Mr. Power. I'm the head of Goodrington House at Waterley Road.
My name's Miss Sanford and I'm the pastoral manager for Goodrington.
Now, I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you in September. All of our PE facilities are absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to see you all in action in our PE lessons. We're having a great summer, obviously, with the Euros. We're so excited about that, but I'm more excited about seeing every one of you in September. We are now going to pass you over to the Broadsands team at Borough Road.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Mr. Dossett. I'm the head of house of Broadsands over at Borough Road.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Florence. I'm the pastoral manager at Broadsands House at Borough Road.
So we're also the Blue House, Broadsands. This is our motto: attitude, resilience and kindness. We have high expectations over here, but our students love to be part of our house, and we're very much looking forward to welcoming you in September. In the meantime, have a lovely summer. We'll see you soon. We'll pass you over to the Elbury team.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mr. Quartley. I am head of Elbury House at the Borough Road site.
Morning, everyone. I'm Miss Cullinane and I'll be your pastoral manager in Elbury House on the Borough Road site.
We're really looking forward to seeing you all. We hope you have a really, really good summer and come ready and refreshed and ready to really give your all for the Elbury House over here at Borough Road. I will now pass you over to Goodrington, Mr. Easton and Mrs. Gower.
Hello, good morning. As said, I'm Mr. Easton, and this is
Mrs. Gower. I'll be your pastoral manager.
And we are the Goodrington team at Borough Road, obviously saving the best till last. We are really looking forward to meeting you all in September and getting to know you and working with you and spending the next 5 years being really, really successful. So I hope you all have a fantastic summer and look forward to seeing you all in September. And I pass back now to Mr. Carpenter.
Well, thank you very much to all of the house teams for their welcome this morning. I must say it's quite nerve-wracking for us because we can't see any of the students or even the staff in their primary schools. But it's really nice that I know that it's working. And obviously, if there are any students that aren't able to join us live, they can watch the recording. So I think we're going to go for a bit of a wave. So I wonder if we could just go back to our main screen. And I would just like to say a massive thank you to the house teams who are going to be looking forward to welcoming you in September. Thank you very much to the house teams for joining us this morning. I won't take up any of your more time because I know you're going to be buzzing off either to teach or support many of the wonderful students we've already got here in the academy. And in a minute, myself and Mr. Godfrey and Mrs. Wilkinson are going to go through a PowerPoint presentation. So thank you again to the heads of house for joining us. And we move on to the next section. So see you later, everybody. Bye-bye. Right, I am absolutely overjoyed now. I would like to congratulate Cockington Primary School. Thank you, Mr. Matthews, who has been able to let us know that the Cockington students are with us. I'd also like to say thank you very much to the staff at Preston Primary School. We know that you are live and you are watching as well. Obviously, for staff, you have to sometimes have a login to the YouTube account to get that. So that's really, really good to know. And for all of you out there, we've got 26 different primary schools joining us in September. We've got 340 children coming to Paignton Academy. 170 of those children will be joining us on the Waterleak Road site, and 170 of them will be joining us on the Borough Road site. We've got some schools, like our main feeder primary schools, you know, the ones where we get a huge number of students come from. Oldway, King's Ash Academy, Curly Street, Hayes, Preston, Roselands, White Rock, and a Sacred Heart. All those schools, we've got huge numbers of children coming from. But there are also many schools like Cockington and Barton and Malden and Buckfast-Lee and Stoke Gabriel, where we have a small number of students coming from. So we are welcoming students from 26 different primary schools. Okay. Oh, I'm brilliant. And I can see that Tor have joined us as well. Thank you very much to the staff at Tor Academy. I think what we're going to need to do, and we'll come back to that in a minute, is add on some attitude to learning points for any of those schools that have been able to say good morning to us. And we may even throw a few questions into you later on. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to just quickly go through a welcome PowerPoint, and then at the end of the welcome PowerPoint, we're going to, if your staff are able to, we're going to go for some questions, if you've got any questions as such. Right, and I can see that between me and Mrs. Wilkinson and Mr. Godfrey, we're gonna go through the PowerPoint. I'm gonna start really, and we've done that already today. We've said welcome, and we are really looking forward to getting back to normality in September, and you coming into the school and starting with us. So we'll quickly move on to the next slide, and in my best Chris Whitty opportunity. Now, as an academy, our current head teacher, Mr. Smith, who has been at the school for 34 years and has been the head teacher for the last 4 years, is retiring. And he's done a fantastic job. What we've got is we've got a brand new principal starting in September. And Mr. Williams will be our principal. So almost similar to yourselves, he will be new and you will be new at the same time. So I know he's spoken to your parents last night on our parents' welcome evening, and he is really looking forward to the challenge of taking on what is the largest school in Torbay. But at the same time that we're the largest school in Torbay, we also have two secondary school anyway. We have two of the smaller sites in Torbay, obviously 1,400 pupils in total, but a site of 700 and 700. So the advantages of a huge site, but also the advantages of two smaller sites as well. They're probably the same size as some of the biggest primary schools in the Bay, such as White Rock and Oldway. So, and a hello to those students as well. Oh, thank you. Just seen that King's Ash have joined us as well. This is brilliant. And Ellicombe have joined us as well. A big hello to all those primary schools that have joined us. Anyway, moving on to the next slide. So hopefully you can see there that we've got some of the senior staff at the top top row there. Obviously, I've introduced myself and we've been introduced to Mrs. Wilkinson. Mr. Godfrey will be speaking in a second as well. And we've got Mr. Scott, who is on our technical skills behind us, and I'm really pleased that everything's working so far today. And then you would have just had the introduction and the welcome from the house teams. So the way to describe that is the head of house is a teaching member of staff, has a lower teaching commitment, who will head up the assemblies and will celebrate the success with the students. And then alongside that head of house, there's also a pastoral manager, and that is a non-teaching member of staff, solely there to look after the 220 students in their house on a daily basis and support them in whatever way they needed to be supported. And you'll get to know them really, really well. So we move on to the next slide. I say it's exciting times at Paignton. It really has been. We've just had a brand new £2 million maths block finished. The year before that, we had a brand new Borough Road arena finished as well, which is £3.5 million. We've had some update to our cladding at the school. And actually, in the last 3 years, we've had £10 million worth of investment in the educational facilities that are going to benefit you. And so, unfortunately, we weren't able to get you on site. But I know that you've got your email accounts now, and I know that you've got access to that. And I'll talk later about the page that you can go to, and you can watch the little videos and some of the tours that we've got available for you. So it's a really good time to be joining us, and we can't wait for you to start in September. I shall move. Now, here's what I want to say is in your primary school, you'll be in a class of 30, and you've probably been in that class of 30 for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And there might be 15 boys and 15 girls. And there'll be a few best friends that you've got there. But what you have is when you come to secondary school, there'll be 170 students in your year group. So that means there'll be more students who've got the same interests as you, got the same hobbies that are very similar to you. So you are likely, and you don't know this yet, to meet your new best friend at secondary school. You are likely to make more friends at the end of September than you currently have at the moment. So there might be some people you know in your tutor group. There might be some people you don't know in your tutor group, but you are going to make some amazing new friends. Just remember that, and please don't worry about who you're with or not with, because you'll see them at break time or lunchtime, or if they're on the other site, you can see them after school for the sports teams or the drama productions. And also, in some lessons, 10 lessons a week, you will be in your tutor group. But in other lessons, maths, English, science, PE, PSHE, 15 lessons a week, every time you go to those lessons, you'll be in totally different groups again. So it's not like primary school where you stay in the same class all the time. You have lots of different classes as you move around your day and you move around the lessons. Now, as I said, we're one of the biggest schools in Torquay. We are the biggest school in Torquay. So what that means is we've got a huge number of staff, over 250 staff across both academy sites. So that allows us to provide lots of opportunities. And these could be at lunchtime, but predominantly they'll be after school. So a typical example might see us offer 50 different extracurricular clubs, be it music, dance, drama, chess, football, basketball, netball, tennis, athletics, you name it, okay, we are going to be doing it after school. And the really good thing is that hopefully from September, we'll be able to open up all those activities that we're used to doing, and we better get children from both sites come together. Be it go over to the Borough Road site after school for the rugby, be it come over to the Waterloo Road site for perhaps the music or the drama or the netball, go and work together across both sites. So we are hopeful that we will have all of our great opportunities ready for you in September. Now, one of my other responsibilities, as well as being in charge of transition, so that's why I'm speaking to you today, because one of my roles is to make sure that we have a smooth transition from your primary school into your secondary school, is attendance. Now, you have missed year 6s a huge amount of school over year 5 and year 6. So we cannot afford for you to miss any other time off of school. And to encourage students to make sure that they come to school as much as possible, we have a huge number of reward trips. So what I will do is I will take a list of names and I will look at their attendance, and the students that have the highest attendance will be invited on reward trips. Now, I will go through some of those in a minute, but if you can look, anybody that has 99 or 100% attendance is considered to have outstanding attendance. And that's what we want you all to strive towards when you get to the Paignton Academy. Excellent attendance would be between 97 and 98. And the average attendance for all students across the whole of the country is 95%. So most people will be above 95%. And I don't need to talk about anything lower than that, because I know that you're all going to come with amazing attendance. Oh, I can see we've got huge numbers of primary schools logging in now. This is brilliant, and our numbers are really, really high. So thank you very much. In fact, we could be almost at a full house here with the primary schools. So I want to say again a big hello to the Prestons and the Tor primary schools and the Ellicons. Brilliant, really, really good to see you logging in, and thank you for adding the comments in. Moving on to my next slide. As I mentioned, we will give reward points to those students who have 100% attendance. In 3 weeks' time, I'm going into assembly in each of the house assemblies, and I will have 12 £10 Amazon vouchers. And any student that has 100% attendance, their name will go in the hat. I will take their name out of the hat and I will distribute to them a £10 Amazon voucher. And I will do the same again and again and again until all 12 of those £10 vouchers are gone. And I shall be doing that again at the end of the term in autumn. So you make sure you have really good attendance to be in the hat, to be potentially earning £10 for just coming to school every single day. And these are some of the previous reward trips. We've taken students to the cinema that have had really good attendance. We've also, every year we go to Splashdown, and we take those students in the end of, about now actually, in the next couple of weeks, we take them to Splashdown with some staff. I usually volunteer myself to go along as well. And we take the students that have had really good attendance. We've also been ice skating. We've also been Battlefield Live. So a real encouragement for you to think straight away, right, I need to make sure that I'm in school every day as much as I can do. And we will move on to the next slide. Now I'm going to pass over to Mr. Godfrey, and Mr. Godfrey is now going to talk you through some of the next slides. And after Mr. Godfrey, we'll then pass on to Mrs. Wilkinson before returning back to me.
Thank you, Mr. Carpenter. Good morning, everyone. Fantastic to see you, well, not to see you, but to hear that you are with us this morning and getting a flavour about what you can expect in September at Paignton Academy. I'm an Academy Director, and I'm based at Waterley Road, and I'm what's called a Senior Head of House. So I work closely with the pastoral teams to make sure that basically when you leave us in 5 years' time, you are the very best version of yourself. Now, the slide you see shows you basically what our ethos is for each of our 3 different houses. Now, you would have heard from the house teams this morning, and we've got Broadsands, Elbury and Goodrington. And to try and make it kind of simpler, if you like, for you to remember, Broadsands is the blue house, Elbury is red, and Goodrington is yellow. And you can see there the key words. And this was introduced 2 years ago, and not by staff. This was actually put to the students to vote on, okay, what do you want to concentrate on? What do you think is the focus for you as a person as you grow up through secondary school? So these designs were actually made by the students themselves. The keywords that you see, so for Broadsands, attitude, resilience, kindness, Elbury, respect, resilience, reward, and for Goodrington, live, laugh, learn, they were all voted by the students. So you will have ownership to a certain extent on a lot of what goes on in the academy. Going to move on to the next slide. Student leadership. Now, Mr. Virgo, who is also a senior head of house, so he does a very similar role to me, but is based at Borough Road. He heads up student leadership. Student leadership within the academy is huge. We put a massive amount of responsibility on the students because we want to prepare you guys for the big wide world. And student leadership is a fantastic way to start learning how to basically communicate, how to organize, not only yourself, but others as well. And what we're going to actually look to do is get some of you as house captains. And as you work through the academy and you get to year 11, you'll become or have the opportunity to become a head prefect. And that's something that looks really good when you go for jobs, obviously in future years to come. Next slide, please. Okay, so as Mr. Carpenter kind of touched on there, at the moment, you're used to probably one member of staff, one teacher, maybe two teachers, maybe three teachers maximum. However, one of the major differences for primary school, for secondary school, is you will have a variety of lessons at different times of the day with different members of staff. So at the moment, you're probably used to knowing maybe 3 or 4 staff really, really well. Well, you'll get to know 20 to 30 staff really well. You'll have to remember their names. Don't worry, you're not expected to know their names straight away. But as you go through, again, your year and through the academy, you will get to know and build a rapport with so many different teachers. So the way that the school day is run, and again, please don't think, oh my gosh, I'm never ever going to remember all of this. We will keep reminding you. We will send it home as well. We'll give you printouts of your timetable. So don't panic, don't worry. This is just kind of giving you a little brief introduction of what you can expect come September. You will have 5 different lessons in a day. And each lesson is an hour long. And within that, we sandwich in a break time and a lunch time as well. And what we will also want to really try and promote as much as possible is our after school clubs. Next slide, please. So here we go. This is our school day. You will see that you'll be expected to arrive on campus at 8:20. You'll register at 8:30 and you'll register for 20 minutes. Now, in that time, it might be during your tutor time that you do a literacy-driven activity. It might be that you do a Wellbeing Wednesday-driven activity. It might be on a Friday that you do the tutor quiz, which is very, very important. So please make sure you're keeping up to date on what is happening in the world. You will also have at least one assembly every single week, and that will be with your house team normally. And then what we will do is we'll lead on to lesson 1 starting at 8:50, lesson 2 at 9:50, and then you'll break. And you'll break at 10:50. You'll come back out of break time at 11:15 for lesson 3, 12:15 for lesson 4, and then again you'll get to break and have a lunch time from 1:15 to 1:50. So what happens is our bell will ring at 1:50, and that will give you then 5 minutes to make sure that you are ready, sat down in lesson, ready to learn by 1:55. End of school is at 3 o'clock. Now, when we say end of school, we mean the end of your kind of lessons. Okay. However, what we want is every single one of you at least 2 to 3 times a week, if not more, to stay on for what we call enrichment hour. Now, enrichment hour is where all the different clubs go on. So I'm talking about science club, music club, drama club, all the different PE and sports clubs, because we want you to enjoy the enrichment of school, not just the academic side. So again, please don't panic too much. All this information will be sent home as well, but this is the compulsory PE kit that you will need. And it's probably not overly different to what you need in primary school at the moment. So you'll see there that you'll need the long PE socks, the shorts, the polo top, which is really smart, the rugby top for boys, and then you'll need gum shield, shin pads, sports trainers, and boots. So the sports trainers, and this is really important for your safety really, are ideally PE and sports trainers that have that cushion to them. So not kind of a pair of Vans or not your kind of Air Force Ones, okay? They're not suitable for PE. We want really the running trainers if possible. Okay, this is the last slide for me, and then I'm going to pass over to Mrs. Wilkinson. So what we have at the academy, and again, Mr. Carpenter has touched on this, is tutor groups. So remember when I said about we've got that 20-minute window every single morning where you would go to register, you will go to this member of staff. So for example, if you are a Borough Road student and you're in Broadsands and your tutor group is 7BB1, well, your tutor for the next 5 years will be Mrs. Warren. If you are a Waterley Road student and you're in Elbury, and on your bit of paper that you've received, it says 7WE3, well, then your tutor for the next 5 years will be Miss Hine. Now, your tutor is probably the first member of staff that you'll see every single morning. If there's something that might have happened during the evening or on the walk to school, or there's something you're not quite sure about, or you've forgotten your lunch, you haven't got any money for lunch, or you haven't remembered your PE socks, if you try and report it to your tutor first, they'll be able to give you some advice on what you will need to do to try and resolve that situation. So your tutor is going to be so important for you over the next 5 years. Do not worry, I know we've given you a lot of information there, but as I say, we will go over this and over it and over it, so don't worry, very soon it will become second nature. Thank you so much for your time this morning. I'm going to pass over to Mrs. Wilkinson now. Take care, have a great day.
I didn't unmute my mic. Let's start that again. A massive thank you and well done so far to all of you. You have been listening to us for over 25 minutes now. Well, for those of us that remember to unmute their mic. So I am Mrs. Wilkinson, as I said before, and I am in charge of behaviour and inclusion at Paignton Academy. Now, obviously, as you have now in your primary schools, we have got really big systems around consequences, but most importantly, rewards. So I am not going to sit and talk to you about what might happen if you are having a bad day and you just so happen to make a bad choice, because I know that every single one of you are going to come in September and look really smart and do your best every single day. Now, as you know, all of our mottos across the house system link into our main school motto, which is believe and achieve. And we have that very short, simple motto because we want every single one of you and every single one of our students at Paignton Academy to believe that they can do anything that they want to do and achieve the best things possible in their lives. So what we have is a really good reward system that helps students stay focused and also be acknowledged for the fantastic things they do. So you, when you come in to Paignton Academy, would be on 0 attitude to learning points, but will you? Because what I want to set you now is a little task, and I want you to count from when I say go, how many times I say academy in the information that I'm going to share with you. And you can do that with a quick tally chart, or your teacher might be able to help. When I've finished, I'd like teachers, please, to put into the comments the number of times you think I said academy, and which schools get it right, we will reward every student in that school with attitude to learning points. So some of you could be in the position where you do not start on 0 in September. So we're going to start that now. So, as you can see on the slide, there are lots of ways to receive awards at Paignton Academy. You can get a reward for being good in your lessons, working hard, and on our attitude to learning, we have lots of different categories. And they all link into our believe and achieve and your house motto. So, for instance, if you show resilience in a lesson and you don't give up, you may receive an attitude to learning point. And that might also happen if you've worked really hard in any of your lessons. What I really want to highlight to you all is that you don't always have to get everything right in your lessons in order to get an attitude to learning point, because we want you to make sure that every day that you are in the academy, you are trying your best at all times. You can get rewards if you attend your extracurricular clubs, of which Mr. Carpenter said there's such a wide range. Doesn't matter what you like. So if you go to chess club and win, you will get the points for Chess Academy winner of that week. You can also get attitude to learning points if we hear from members in our community that you have done something that's absolutely brilliant out there. It might be that you helped someone across the road and they phoned in and given us your name, and we're able to reward you some attitude to learning points and a Paignton Pride Award for showing excellent attitude and being very supportive of our community. And as Mr. Carpenter said, you will get attitude to learning points just for coming to school 5 days a week. And that is as well as the excellent trips that he has identified. So with our attitude to learning, you can see we've got our success iceberg. Now, hopefully, as I am a geography teacher, you know what an iceberg is. But if you don't, an iceberg is a big piece of ice normally found in the North and South Pole. And the thing about iceberg is most of the iceberg actually sits underneath the surface of our ocean. But what happens when you are a student to school? Lots of different things have to happen in order for you to be successful and get to the top of your game over the 5 years. So you have to be independent, organised, you have to challenge yourself. And our reward system and our attitude to learning system all links in to all of those categories. So when you get a report at secondary school here at the academy, you will be given a grade, and that grade, if you could just skip 2 slides, please, Mr. Scott. Up down to the attitude to learning. Oh, sorry, it's another one. And then another one. We are out of order. That's it. We're back on track. So here at the academy, you can get a recognition as a learner of being highly motivated, engaged, passive, or disengaged. Now, I know that none of you are going to come in to the academy in September and be in that bottom category. So in each section, we have got different characteristics that make a highly motivated or engaged learner. And if you are believing and achieving, if you're striving to do the best you can all the time, then you would fit into our highly motivated or engaged categories. However, we also know that you are young, you're learning, you are growing up, and sometimes we are just not having a very good day, or we're not having a very good few weeks. But what we've got in the academy is lots of staff that can help you aim higher and always aim to be a highly motivated or engaged learner. So I think we need to go back 2 slides now, please, Mr. Scott. So we have got a class charts platform, and the best thing about class charts is that you can get an application for your mobile phone, and on that application it will tell you how many attitude to learning points you have got. Once you have got a certain amount of attitude to learning points, you can go into our class chart shop and you can actually use your attitude to learning points to buy things. Now, it might be that you save up for a voucher, so you can go over to Torquay or down into Paignton and buy a top that you've wanted to buy for a long time. It might mean that you might need to top up some of your equipment, so you can use your attitude to learning points to buy equipment. But we always ask the students here at the academy, what would you like to go in the rewards shop, to make sure that what we put in there is what you want, because we know that trends change all the time. And for some reason, and I don't know why, people don't want a Minion rucksack anymore. So we've had to take that out of the shop. So the other 2 things that we have in the academy, we have a Student of the Month award. And every month, the staff nominate students and they can win our Student of the Month, and we do one for every house. And if you win Student of the Month, you get 50 attitude to learning points, and you get a letter home, and you have a voucher. Okay, so there are so many ways that we can reward you in the academy, and we like to do more rewarding than we do putting consequences in place. So for coming to school, behaving, trying your hardest in all of your lessons, you will pick up attitude to learning points. And some of our year 7s now, even though we've been shut for some time over this academic year, have got over 500 attitude to learning points because they've worked really, really hard. Okay. So I am now going to talk to you about knowledge organisers and your home learning. So Mr. Scott, if you could move on a couple of slides. So here at the academy, we have got home learning. And every single start of the term, you will be given something called a knowledge organiser. And it is exactly what it says on the front cover. You will be learning lots of knowledge in your lessons. And within your knowledge organiser, all of your home learning that is set, so this is homework that you have to do at home outside of the academy once you've gone to your extracurricular club in the evening. So you're going to be very, very busy. And staff will set you tasks from your knowledge organiser, and you have to make sure that all your home learning is done on a Monday. So it's really, really simple, because if you know all your home learning has to be done on Monday, you don't have to get confused with lots of different deadlines. And on a Monday, here in the academy, your tutor will check your home learning book, and if they tick that you've done it, you will get, guess what? You've got it, more attitude to learning points towards your total. So it's really important that you get used to making sure that your home learning is done ready for a Monday morning in September. Okay, the last things that I'm going to talk about are the academy uniform. Now, you would have seen your siblings, if you've got siblings here at the academy, coming to school in their uniform, and you'll see that we've now got a house tie. So it might be that you've got a red, a yellow, or a blue tie. So what we are asking all the time is that students are looking as smart as they possibly can, with your tie done up properly, shirts tucked in, making sure that you don't bring any hoodies or jumpers into school, because we do not allow that, okay? And I know some of you are going to have fantastic Leavers hoodies from your primary school, but unfortunately don't allow hoodies to be worn here, okay? So we will give you more information on this when you start, but the main thing is that you come in September looking really smart, and all the information about uniform for the academy is in your information. And then the last thing I'm going to talk to you about is all the equipment that you are going to need. Now, Mr. Godfrey has spoken to you about how you will go to 5 different lessons when you start here in September. And that means that everything you need needs to be in your backpack. So you need to make sure you've got a big enough bag, because you need to have your equipment, your knowledge organiser in it. If you've got PE on a certain day, you need to be able to fit your PE kit in. So you need to make sure you've got a big enough bag that you can actually carry, so it's not too heavy, making sure that you've got everything on that list in there. And that means that when you go to every single one of your lessons, you are ready to learn, do the very best you can, pick up loads of attitude to learning points in the academy, and of course, believe and achieve. Now, I'm going to pass you back to Mr. Carpenter. We look forward to seeing you at Paignton Academy in September, and I'm looking forward to seeing who I can reward some A2L points, because you have successfully counted how many times I have said Academy, Academy, Academy. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you in September.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Wilkinson, for talking us through those sections as well. And I'm just going to wrap up with a few of the last things that we wanted to talk to you about, and then we're going to see if your primary school staff, only if they can, are able to maybe as a class, as a school, answer a couple of questions before we bid farewell to you. So, oh, I can just see that White Rock have joined us as well. So a really good morning to White Rock and all of the students that have joined us. I've got quite a few students from White Rock joining us this year. So a hello and a good morning to all of you as well. And I know there's lots more primary schools out there that I haven't mentioned yet. And I know there are so many students tuning in today. So it's really good to speak to you and see you. From me, you'll see on the page that there is a team of 3 that are our safeguarding team. Mrs. Scott there is central in the picture, with also Mrs. Mountford and also Mrs. Collins. And if at any time at the academy there is something that you are worried or concerned about, be it in school or outside of school, these would be the people that you would come and seek out and that would make themselves available to you. And we will show exactly where their offices are, so that you can talk to them and get some support from them if that would be needed at any point. So, and they'll also come into your very first assembly on your very first day to introduce themselves as well. We're going to move on to the next slide. Now, sort of a favourite subject to me, canteen. Now we open our canteen for breakfast in the morning, so you could come in early, and sometimes I do as well, and get yourself perhaps a croissant or a bacon bap, or some obviously healthy options as well. We also open our dining facilities at break time, so many students, especially those that come to the clubs at lunchtime, prefer to eat at break time, which is absolutely fine, and there's a range of food on display at break time, and obviously the canteen is open again at lunchtime. Now you've got three choices when you come to Paignton Academy, and you can mix and match this as well. So you could either bring a packed lunch and eat in the dining hall every single day, or you could do that any day you wish, and or you can do a combination. If you receive free school meals in your primary school, then you will continue to receive free school meals in the secondary school, and we will have that arranged for you on the very first day you come in. And you will be allocated £2.35 a day to spend. Now that is also exactly the same as the main meal, dessert and drink. So that means that every day you get your main meal, dessert and a drink, all for £2.35 within the free school meal allowance. If you don't get free school meals, that's not a problem at all, then at home, parents, or when you're in school yourself, you can load money onto your account, and then as you go through, you'll know exactly how much is on your account. When you purchase the food, the money is taken off the account, and then you can see quite quickly and check anytime during the day how much you've got. And then at home, with the click of a button on Parent Pay, your parents or guardians can add on additional money so that you can do whatever you wish, really. You can have a mixture of both, or indeed stick with any of them every single day. And this is just a typical menu, a typical menu. So you can see that, we obviously every day have a vegetarian dish, but also Friday is predominantly our fish and chip day. And then the rest of the week, we tend to roll on a 3-week rotating program. So you can look in advance and think, well, I'll tell you what, I do like my carbonara, so I'm definitely going to be having the carbonara on the Monday. But it might be there's one particular day, not sure about this as a meal choice, so that might be the day I bring my packed lunch, or I just take a grab and go, and I go with pizza or a burrito or a wrap. You can see that one of my other responsibilities is looking after the canteen, and I think it's a very good provision that we have here, and I eat there every day myself. And Mr. Scott, if we could, thank you very much. Right. So this is where it might not be that you can do it today in your primary school, because you've got lots of other things going on in your primary school, and your teachers have probably got lots of other priorities for you. However, if you did have time, you'd be most welcome to. But this is something you can look at anytime in the evening or even before September. We have a designated page for you. So what you do is you can look at the website there, at the very top, there's Student Life at Paignton Academy. So the first thing you would do is you would click on that link, and it would throw you up into a various amount of information. Here you can see information on the knowledge organisers, for example. And then as we move on to the next slide, you will see that there are also opportunities for you to link into your school email account. Now, yesterday afternoon, we emailed to your parents your username for your Paignton Academy email address and your password. So what you can do is you can go straight in and you can log into your email account, and there will be a couple of emails ready for you with a couple of links that might be of use to you, some videos and some links which I'm talking about at the moment. Now that email account will be yours for the duration of your time at the Academy, and it's also the way in which you can access the Google Classroom and various other things. So we're not sent you too much at the moment, but it will start to obviously from September increase your use of the Academy email account that you have. There's also a link to class charts there as well. So as you scroll down, you'll see that there is a tab for Year 6 students just for you. And if you click on that particular tab, you will see that it takes you to the Year 6-7 transition website. And down the left-hand side, you've got the pictures of who's who, pictures of me and various other senior staff. You've also got an opportunity to find out some videos with a tour from Mr. Godfrey you just met and Mr. Virgo, who we're going to introduce to you in a second. And there is also a virtual induction day. There are 6 different lessons. There's a PE lesson, there's a technology lesson, an IT lesson, and you can go in, you can watch them, you can take part in this little science lesson as well at any time you'd like. And that doesn't have to be during the school day. That could be at home or any time between now and September, just to give you a flavour of some of the staff and how it feels to be in some of the lessons here at Paignton Academy. And finally, we move on to our final slide. So I'd really like to say a huge thank you to the primary staff who have facilitated this. We really do appreciate it. And actually, we are delighted that it's worked and that we can see that the majority of you have joined in, which is brilliant. We'd like to say thank you for your resilience to the Year 6 students. We are really looking forward to seeing you in September. And I know that we have also got Sherwell Valley joining us now as well. We've got, fantastic, we've got all the primary schools joining us in. So what we're going to do, we'll end the PowerPoint and hopefully we will welcome the other staff back onto your screen, and we'll finish with a couple of questions. And what you're going to have the opportunity to do is you're going to have the opportunity to ask us any questions. You don't have to, but if you did have an opportunity to ask any questions, you could do that in the chat, and that's why I keep looking away. So I'm going to just quickly pass over to Mr. Virgo, who is going to introduce himself to you, and I'll let after Mr. Virgo, we'll let Mr. Scott introduce himself.
Good morning, Year 6. As Mr. Carpenter said, my name is Mr. Virgo. My role will be Senior Head of House at Borough Road site. So if you're coming to Borough Road, you will see me on the gate in the morning. You'll see me coming into your lessons, probably at lunchtime in the canteen. I will always be there for you, for the students, to come and have a chat with me, to find out, tell me how your weekend went, how the day has gone. But I work very, very closely with your house team. So you'll get to know me really, really well. And I look forward to seeing you all when you join us in September. And I hope you are very, very excited to start a new journey with us at Paignton Academy. I know you've had a very long presentation, and I know Mrs. Wilkinson spoke to you something that I oversee in the academy, which is attitudes to learning. I work very closely with Mrs. Wilkinson on that, and I'm looking forward to seeing how well you're going to come into our school and all be highly motivated learners. So I know you've had a long talk. That's enough from me. I look forward to seeing you all, and I'm going to hand over to Mr. Scott now.
Good morning, everyone. And I've been the one that's been doing all the clicking behind the scenes. So I've listened to everything, and it's the first time you got to see me. So my name is Mr. Scott, and I am the designated safeguarding lead. So my job is to make sure that you all are all happy, healthy, and successful when you join us at Paignton Academy. I work very closely with the house teams, all of those lovely people that you met earlier, and also with everyone else that's been speaking to you today, Mr. Godfrey, Mr. Virgo, Mr. Carpenter, and Mrs. Wilkinson. I hope you all have a fantastic summer, and I'll go back to the screen where you can see all of us, and then you'll be able to answer any questions in the chat that you might have.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Scott. So my question really was to ask how many primary schools are children coming from to Paignton Academy? So I don't know if there's a school that can answer that, and we can give attitude to learning points to all of the children from that school. My second question was how many children are joining us in Year 7 in September. So as you look at the screen, you can see that the WRC behind my name refers to Waterley Road, and you can see that the BRC refers to the Borough Road site. So you can kind of work out that myself and Mr. Godfrey are based on the Waterley Road site, but we still get across to Borough Road quite regularly, and we still have our roles and responsibilities there. And you can see that obviously Mrs. Wilkinson and Mr. Virgo are based on the Borough Road site, but again, they will be coming over and you will see them as well. And you can see that Mr. Scott gets the probably the pleasure of going across both sites, being sometimes at the Waterley Road site and sometimes at the Borough Road site. Now, I actually think that I think that that's gone really, really well today. And I know that we will be taking questions directly, and I know that house teams will be taking questions as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll leave it there, because I'm just updating and refreshing on my second screen to see what sort of answers and questions we're getting in. And obviously there are lots of engagement there. So once again, 50 minutes, as we said originally, that would be the time that we would talk to you for. Once again, a huge thank you to all of the primary school staff for facilitating this. This is recorded and will now be able to be rewatched by anyone at any time. Thank you again from everybody at Paignton Academy. We hope you now feel more informed about joining us, and we will see you on the 6th of September, Monday the 6th of September, where you will come to the reception on the site that you're at. And the way we're going to manage it is I think we're going to only ask for the year 7 students to come in for the first part of the day, and ask all of the remaining students at Paignton Academy perhaps come in a couple of hours later, so that we can spend some quality time with our year 7s to show you around the academy, give you a tour, and make sure you know your way around. So I think we'll give it's a goodbye from me and a goodbye from the rest of the team there. We'll go for the wave. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Thank you.